What's up, strangers? Gorgon here. And in today's video, well, I couldn't really think of anything because I was just really lazy. And today, I decided to talk about basically what is going on at this point. And the most important thing we can talk about is the Juggernaut, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what's happened to the Juggernaut at this point. But if you don't, let me fill you in right off the bat right now. Now, the Juggernaut in Left 4 Survival right now, or currently in its past, basically had a little punch distance where survivors are able to be pushed a certain distance, or not really a certain distance, just like a walking speed distance, a few feet, and it was just a nice little feature. And the way you could use it is to push survivors into just areas that would more or less benefit you but not benefit them, like into the horde, into a chiller, or more or less into corners, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, and especially off of buildings, dealing even more damage and killing survivors in corners most of the time. And that was mostly a problem. But then, all of a sudden, an update came out where the Juggernaut's punch actually had a buff for some reason. And basically, what happened was the Juggernaut's punch buff basically gave survivors an extra few more meters away from being punched. So basically, a Juggernaut would push, or just technically, punch you right in your face, and you would basically go from a few feet to basically a few more meters, flying into the air in some cases. Now, this didn't really seem like a big problem, but the thing is the strategies of pushing survivors into corners and also off of buildings just grew even more, because now with this feature, survivors getting pushed into corners was a lot more easier and a lot more frequent. And most of the time, whenever they were pushed into the corners, it would be impossible for them to actually get out from the corners, because number one, there's other infected. Number two is that the punch actually had a little stun to it, so survivors couldn't move for a few seconds, and more or less it would give you guys the victory on that survivor. And then what's it called? Another update came out where it actually nerfed the Juggernaut's punch ability to where it isn't as strong, but more or less every punch has a cooldown after a few more seconds. So basically, after you punch a survivor, you would practically get a little cooldown for your punch, and more or less could not punch for the next 2 seconds, which sounds good. But the thing was this was kind of a disadvantage to the zombies now, because since the Juggernaut has a cooldown from punching, there could be a perfect time after they punch either miss. It could be like a perfect time to actually hit them to like deal even more damage or get them into a bad situation, but now they actually have to wait for it. So there's that for the zombies. And that's practically it for the zombies at this point. I don't know why they continue to buff the Juggernaut and also nerf the Juggernaut, but at the same time, every time that there's something good that happens to something like extremely good, you always have to act fast to actually make it pretty good, I guess, but not really. And in my opinion, yes, the update was needed because the buff was very, very crucial for the technically humans to stay away from that beast at all times. And now the Juggernaut's an okay zombie, so I would say 6.5. It's pretty good. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was how the zombies are more or less more getting more nerfs or buffs than humans for some reason. Now, humans did get a nerf, and that was more or less when the humans actually got the consumables nerf, kind of. And then they got a buff where they have like 50, I think, or 100 more HP, and there's that. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about for the human side was more or less the weapons they have compared to the zombies. I get it. It takes a long time to actually get balance between both of the teams, but at the same time, why do you constantly give one team more advantages and the other ones no more advantages, or more or less disadvantages? Zombies keep getting disadvantages by giving them nerfs to their either cooldowns, to their abilities, or more or less just to their overall appearances or something like that. And humans, on the other hand, they do get nerfs to one gun. One item, one gun, one thing, and never again. Literally. I don't know why. I mean, there is a lot of things to consider for the other team, but at the same time, what about the other team that literally has a 75% chance of winning all the time? So one of the things I wanted to talk about was the laser rifle. Now, I know there is literally like a 66% group out there who loves the laser rifle and saying, don't touch it, it is literally the best gun in my opinion and it's my favorite, do not even dare. Well, truth is, you know it is a very powerful weapon. It is. It's literally an S tier weapon, aka the number one best thing to own in this game. One of the things that doesn't make sense to me is just that for some reason this gun isn't expensive. It's literally like what 100 to 150 Robux to actually purchase, depending on how many diamonds you have. And compared to other guns like the flamethrower, katana, and the minigun especially, they cost more than 150 Robux for pretty good weapons. Katana, very, very good melee. Flamethrower, very, very good primary, but not one of the best. And minigun, a very, very good primary, but not the best. And for some reason, laser rifle, a pretty cheap weapon, is the best for some reason. One of the things I wanted to talk about is its damage. 40 to like 44 is way too much. First thing to do to nerf the laser rifle is its damage. Probably drop it down to at least 38, so it's not that bad of a nerf, but more or less I think that's pretty good enough. And plus its rate of fire can stay the same. Ammunition, you need to nerf the ammunition. The ammunition is way too much for a gun so cheap and for a gun so overpowered. I think the max of a ammunition was like 240 or like 280, so drop it down to at least 180 or to like 200. So by that time, you have at least 4 to 5 magazines on the side, and the one you are currently having is like 5 to 6 magazines, and not 80, not like 8 to at least 9 magazines on the side. So there's that, and basically raise the price from being what 2,500 diamonds to at least 35 to 4,000. I think 3,500 is enough diamonds because a very good weapon deserves to be heavily expensive. You know. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the speed armor. The speed armor is by far the best armor in the game. And I am a speed armor person myself, and me saying this basically hurts my soul. So, if you want to nerf the speed armor, I would highly agree. Speed armor is literally the best, and I know a lot of you guys are saying, do not even touch that one either. It is my favorite. You know it's very good, so it has to be nerfed so it can be balanced just like all the other armors, and everyone else can either choose this armor, or heavy, or juggernaut, or small. The first thing you should do with the speed armor is, since it gives you 50 more HP, I believe you should either take that away or more or less give you 25 more HP. And the reason for that is because, well, you have consumables that are on the map, and especially the ones that you equip, so it doesn't really need it as well. Next thing is you should nerf the stamina bar from 50, I believe, to 25. The reason for that is because since you are so fast, you don't technically need the extra speed because, I mean, you're already fast as fuck, so there's that as well. And that's practically it I would do with the speed armor. It's way too fast, but more or less just nerf the stamina from 50 to 25 and practically make it so you don't give him more HP. That's it, and that's basically my opinion for now.